We begin here in Taipei, where dramatic scenes are unfolding inside and outside the legislature. Lawmakers from the main opposition parties led by the Kuomintang are still trying to pass controversial amendments that could affect the balance of partisan power in the country. In the morning, we saw lots of pushing and shoving with ruling Democratic Progressive Party lawmakers trying to physically block the opposition from entering the chamber. Despite those efforts, the opposition was ultimately able to enter and pass a set of amendments, making it harder to recall sitting politicians, and another, changing the way Taiwan's top court chooses members. Those lawmakers are now discussing how money is allocated to local governments. Meanwhile, protesters and police have been facing off outside the building. We'll be live with the latest on what is turning out to be a tense protest in a moment. But first, let's go to Tiffany Wong, who is inside the legislature. Tiffany, this is all over the opposition's attempt to pass amendments to 3 major laws. Can you tell us more about these laws?
Hi, Yvonne. Well, some of the amendments discussed here today could change the way that Taiwan's top court works. Already, we saw one set of amendments passed that was supported by the one of the smaller opposition parties, the Taiwan People's Party. Now, when justices leave the court, they will have to be replaced within 2 months. There's also another set of amendments regarding the Recall Act that also passed earlier. Now, when people are trying to sign recall petitions, they're going to have to provide ID verification. Now, the meeting today has officially been extended until midnight, and so lawmakers are still expected to discuss the 3rd and final set of amendments on the agenda today, and that would change the way that Taiwan's government revenue is allocated. The opposition Kuomintang is calling for more funding to be allocated to local governments where they hold more seats rather than the central government, which is led by the President Ching of the Democratic Progressive Party.
Tiffany, this is not the first time we've seen clashes like this in the legislature this year. Is it always split between the KMT and DPP?
That's right. It's really not about the nitty-gritty of these amendments, but it's about the growing partisan divides in Taiwan, which we've seen all year ever since the general elections. This is the first time in Taiwan's history where we've had a president presiding over a divided legislature, and that's played out in physical clashes, every few months here in the legislature. Right now, there's no single party with a majority in the legislature, and so we've often seen the main opposition, Kuomintang, joined forces with the smaller opposition, Taiwan People's Party. But as we've seen today, that the Taiwan People's Party's support is not guaranteed. And so we are expecting to see many more clashes in the legislature in the coming days, even regarding more amendments to that Recall Act.